Welcome back to another video, Rams Nation. Today I'm bringing to you the Week 5 preview versus the Los Angeles Rams and the Seattle Seahawks. The Rams are 3-1 and they're coming off of a 35-30 win over the Dallas Cowboys, and the Seattle Seahawks are 2-2 and they are coming off of a 46-18 win over the Indianapolis Colts. Before I jump into things, I want to mention that it's Throwback Week, so therefore I'm wearing these colors. I felt it was appropriate. If you didn't know, I mean, you probably should know because the Rams changed all their stuff on social media, and they mentioned that they're going to be wearing throwbacks. We, on our Facebook page, said that we will be wearing throwbacks this week. So, without further ado, let's get into team stats. I'm going to start with points per game, and the Rams have 35.5, and that is first in the NFL still. And the Seahawks average 23.5. The Rams have the edge there. Points allowed per game, the Rams, their defense has been shaky. They've allowed 26.3 points per game. That's almost 4 touchdowns. And the Seahawks have allowed 19.3, advantage Seahawks. And then, well, they have played very similar opponents. Both have played the 49ers and the Colts. And pass yards per game, the Rams have 270.2, and the Seahawks have 240.8. Nod goes to Jared Goff and the Rams there. Rush yards per game, the Rams have 113.5, and the Seahawks have 121. And the advantage goes to the Seahawks there, but they will be without their starting running back, Chris Carson, this week. In total yards per game, the Rams have 383.8, and the Seahawks have 361.8. The nod goes to the Rams there. Now for the injury report, the Rams are relatively healthy coming into this one, but John Sullivan, Andrew Whitworth, and Connor Barwin did not practice, but all due to rest, so it's okay. Don't worry, Rams Nation. And then Lamarcus Joyner, he missed last week, and he's looking like he might miss this week too. He did not practice because of his hamstring issue, and I don't expect him to play, so don't get your hopes up. We need him back, though. And then Jamon Brown was a limited participant in practice because he tweaked his groin during practice. Hopefully he's okay. And then Samuel Watkins, he had an illness this week and did not practice, but he should be ready to go. Now for the Seahawks, their list is a lot longer than the Rams. A lot of notable names did not practice. Doug Baldwin, Jimmy Graham, Luke Jokel, C.J. Prosise, Jeremy Lane, Michael Wilhoit, Richard Sherman, and Earl Thomas all did not practice. Those are a bunch of key names, key players. I assume that most of them will be playing. A lot of them were probably just held out for just minor issues, but they're on the injury report. And then Reese Odiambo, the offensive lineman, he was a full participant. He got hurt in the Colts game as I was watching. He went down, but I think he got back in the game. But he's on the injury report too. And then obviously Chris Carson will be out. He just underwent ankle surgery and to repair his I think it was a broken ankle or something. But he's obviously going to be out. The Seahawks are really going to miss him because he is their leading rusher this year. And then also defensive end Cliff Averill did not practice. He's been giving the Rams issues in the past couple years, but it looks like he won't play. He has a neck issue, and it might be career-threatening, according to Pete Carroll. It might not be, but they don't know when he's going to be back. Now for my predictions in this game, I think Cooper Kupp is going to be the leading Rams wide receiver in this one because Richard Sherman is probably going to shadow Sammy Watkins. I mean, he plays one side, but he might shadow Sammy Watkins, or Sammy Watkins might only play on Richard Sherman's side. Who knows? But I think Cooper Kupp is just against that secondary, since they're so good all over the board. Cooper Kupp's going to be like our third wide receiver, so I think he's going to get on their third corner, and I think he's going to take advantage. And I think the Rams will sack Russell Wilson more than 5 times. Their offensive line isn't the same, and it looks awful. And I think the Rams defense will finally get it together this week. And that leads to the Seahawks. I think the Seahawks running backs will run for less than 85 yards combined. In their last meeting last year, the Seahawks only ran for 72 yards, and that included a 26-yard run by their punter. But that's a different Rams defense. That's a different Seahawks offense. But I think after the Chris Carson injury, I don't think they will get production from the running backs because that's why Chris Carson is starting in the first place, because Thomas Rawls, Eddie Lacy, C.J. Prosise are not producing at all. And that leads me to my bold prediction. I think Alec Ogletree, someone who has struggled all year. I think he'll finally find his groove. I think he'll have 10 tackles, an interception, and a forced fumble. I think he's going to wreak havoc on the Seahawks this week. The last time these two teams met was on December 15th of last year in Seattle on Thursday Night Football. The Seahawks won the game 24-3. The Rams could not get anything going. Jared Goff only threw for 135 yards, no touchdowns, and no interceptions. Kenny Britt was the leading receiver with 50 yards. Todd Gurley had 38 yards on 14 carries. That was last year's Todd Gurley. We have this year's Todd Gurley now. Obviously, he's better. And Russell Wilson threw for 3 touchdowns, and Tyler Lockett had 7 receptions for 130 yards and a touchdown. The Seahawks they were dominant in that game, and the Rams could not get anything going. That leads me to my score prediction, and the Rams open up as 2.5-point favorites. It looks like it's going to be a close one, but I don't think that. I think the Rams are going to win this one comfortably. I think it's going to be 34-20. I think the Rams offense is going to come alive, or remain alive. It's pretty good. I think the defense is going to come alive, hold the Seahawks to 20 points, which is lower than the Rams' average this year. And I just think the Rams' offense will continue to shine. The Rams' defense will get it together. And I think the Rams will be leaving Los Angeles with a 14-point win over the Seattle Seahawks. That's about it for this video, Rams Nation. This is a very crucial game for the Rams. If they win, they move on to 4-1, and the Seahawks would fall to 2-3. And if the Seahawks win, they would go to 3-2, and the Rams would also go to 3-2. But the Seahawks would take the division lead. But with that being said, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, Rams Nation. Please leave a thumbs up, subscribe, comment, share with your friends. Thanks for watching. Let's go, Rams.